Welcome to Magical Moments with Artemis. You are invited to drop in to your spiritual core. In previous videos, I used to say drop into the center of yourself, and lately it's been drop into the quantum field. Recently I read something that referred to expressing your strength in the world from your spiritual core. And that the idea that when one does so, just this amount of personal validation, personal potency, a feeling of self-reliance, and it really got my gears clicking. I don't know how many persons experience their spiritual core. In conversations with other persons, I'm noticing a lot of people like to do angels, guides, and ascended masters, me being one of them. But I'm also coming into contemplation of this inside-out spirituality rather than an outside-in. So if I'm looking to angels, ascended masters, that kind of thing, I think that's beautiful, but I'm also acknowledging that that's an outside-in spirituality for me, in my reality. Whereas an inside-out spirituality could be me in my core connecting with fill in the blank. I guess it depends on your point of origin. So here's where I'm being authentic and knowing that my point of origin is usually needy, is usually looking for help, is usually feeling dependent on angels, guides, and ascended masters, among others. And I want to bless that. I want to bless that. I don't think that I'm entirely off the mark. Not entirely. But when I shift myself and I'm feeling more resourceful, and then I'm going to angels, guides, and ascended masters, I think that's a different story. So, dropping in, notice your spiritual core. Notice where that is. Where do you track that on you in particular? Because there's a couple of areas that out of hand, I think most people would go, well, that's where it should be. I don't know that. I don't know that. And I don't know that anyone's ever asked you, where is your spiritual core? Where do you experience that? I don't know that you've ever contemplated the question yourself. Gee, my spiritual core is fill in the blank. Where do you detect your spiritual core? Do you detect a spiritual core? You might not. So, for everyone who cannot detect their spiritual core, I'm going to drop into the quantum field and drop in even deeper. Okay. So now everyone who could not before this moment, your spiritual core is now noticeable in an evident way. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but since I've been talking, the wind is kicking up. For everyone who's already aware of their spiritual core. So everyone who's already aware of their spiritual core, energizing that. Getting some more spin, getting some more expansion. noticed a shift there. So everyone who already knows where their spiritual core is, and we've just expanded that, integrating an expanded spiritual core. That feels good. That feels good. And this just came up, and I don't have an answer, and I'm okay with that, because those of you who've been following me for any length of time, when you have an answer, it's kind of like there's this answer to the exclusion of all else. And you guys know I'm not about limits. Limitless Artemis. So, only having this question, not having this answer, feeling sophomoric about it, but being authentic nonetheless, what do you do to feed your spiritual core? How do you nourish your spiritual core? Like energetically, we just did it. We expanded it. I know how to do that. I can do that all day and all night. But to nourish what's already there. So, dropping in, we've got the spiritual core. And I'm throwing the question out there. How do each of us, collectively and individually, nourish our spiritual cores? How do we nourish our newly expanded spiritual cores? So I just want to, again, from the quantum field, just offer a blessing that all of you know where your spiritual core is, that you all know how to greater nourish it, that you are all congruent with this inextricable link to the divine within you. And that each of you has that experience of tuned in, tapped in, turned on. As my friends and your friends, Abraham-Hicks, love to say. Feel that. Feel your spiritual core turned on. Thank you for watching.